It all comes down to this. The lights feel brighter now. The room is quieter. Even the audience seems to hold its breath. Final Jeopardy wait. It's not just another question. It's the moment where everything changes. Tonight's category: 20th century novels. That might sound simple. Books from the 1900s. A wide field. But under pressure, it becomes a maze. The host reads the clue. Here's the clue. 30 seconds. Players, good luck. And just like that, the music begins. That unmistakable tune fills the room. Slow, steady, relentless. You can almost feel the tension rising with every note. Pens hit the screen. Eyes narrow. Maras. Because this isn't just about knowledge anymore. It's about clarity under pressure, and for one contestant in particular. This moment feels especially heavy. Roy Wood Jr., he had a tough game. A risky daily double earlier dropped him down. Hard. Now, sitting at just $900. This is more than a question. It's a last shot. A chance to leave with something, or nothing. You can imagine what's going through his mind. Do you play it safe? Or do you swing big and hope it lands? The music keeps going. Tick, 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 and then pens down. Time's up. The answers are locked in. But what happened next? No one quite expected. The host turns to Roy first. There's always something about going first in Final Jeopardy. No hiding, no delay. Just your answer, out in the open. Roy Wood Jr., you had $900 after that daily double. What did you come up with? Roy looks at the screen. There's a brief pause. And then, the reveal. What is? Hiking, the book too. For a split second, silence. Then smiles begin to spread across the stage. Not hiking, the book, but the sequel, Hiking, the book too. It's unexpected. It's creative. And honestly, it's kind of brilliant in its own way. Because in a high-pressure moment like this, sometimes the brain doesn't just search for the right answer. It invents something entirely new. The host leans in slightly, clearly entertained. That's a great guess. A beat passes. But I'm afraid that's not correct. And just like that, reality settles back in. Roy smiles, taking it in stride. There's no frustration, no regret, just humor. Because sometimes, when the stakes are high, laughter is the best response. Is that going to be your follow-up to your book? Zostask Roy's slightly. Yeah, probably. And the audience laughs again. It's a moment of lightness in a tense game, but then comes the serious part. The wager. You wagered $900. That's everything he had. Which means it leaves you with nothing. Zero. And just like that, Roy's game comes to an end. But not without leaving a memorable moment behind. Because sometimes, it's not about winning, it's about how you play the game. And Roy, he played it with humor and heart, but the game isn't over yet. Not even close. Because next, things take an even more surprising turn. Now, all eyes turn to second place. Cynthia Nixon, she had a strong position going into Final Jeopardy with $7,500. Not unbeatable, but definitely within striking distance. If she got it right and wagered wisely, this could be her game. Though for Cynthia Nixon, second place. What novel did you write down? Her answer appears. At first glance, it looks familiar. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A well-known title, a beloved book. And honestly, not a bad guess. But Final Jeopardy is rarely about bad. Exactly right. Is that right, Zostask? Cynthia nods. Yes, there's a pause. Then, not the right book. And just like that, the momentum changes. But Cynthia's reaction, unexpected. Well, I'm really glad it's not the right book. She pauses, smiling, because I didn't finish it. The audience laughs. Even the host can't help but react. Because in a moment, that could feel disappointing. She turns it into something relatable. Running out of time, not finishing something. We've all been there. That's the problem with Final Jeopardy, the host adds. You've got to write fast when the music's winding up, and that's the truth. It's not just about knowing the answer. It's about getting it down before time runs out. But then Cynthia adds something important. But it wouldn't have mattered, so I'm relieved about that. Now, that's interesting. Because that means her wager must have been bold. Very bold. How much did you wager? The host asks. Cynthia takes a breath. Everything. The audience reacts instantly. Everything. That means she risked it all. And since the answer was wrong, she drops to 0. Tiens, Huitreuil. 2 contestants. To bold moves. Both ending in the same place. 0. And just like that, the entire game now rests on one final reveal, because one player remains. And his answer will decide everything. Sean Gunn. He had a strong game from the start. Confident answers, smart wagers, and most importantly, momentum. By the time Final Jeopardy arrived, he was sitting comfortably at $19,000. That's a commanding lead. But in this game, nothing is guaranteed. One wrong answer, one risky wager, and everything could change. The host turns toward him. Sean Gunn, you had a great game today. $19,000 going into Final Jeopardy. There's a pause. You can feel the tension again. Because now, it all comes down to this one moment. Did you think of the right book? Sean's answer appears on the screen. What is? On the road. A beat. Then, yes. The energy in the room shifts instantly. That's the correct answer. And not just correct, but precise. Because if you break down the clue, if you think about the time period, it had to be a novel from the 1950s. And on the road, that fits perfectly. A defining work of its era, written by Jack Kerouac. One of the key voices of the Beat generation. It's the kind of answer that shows not just knowledge, but understanding. And in Final Jeopardy, that's what makes the difference. But there's still one question left, the wager. Because even with the correct answer, a bad wager could still change the outcome. The host leans in. How much did you wager? And Sean's response, surprisingly calm. He didn't have to wager a penny. And just like that, it's over. Sean Gunn finishes with $19,000. No dramatic swings. No last-second reversals. Just a strong performance all the way through. But more importantly, he advances to the semifinals. The audience applauds. Because this isn't just a win. It's progression. Another step forward. Another chance to compete. Another opportunity to prove himself. And in a game like this, that's everything. What makes this moment interesting isn't just the result. It's how differently each contestant approached the same situation. Roy took a creative swing. Cynthia made a bold all-in move. And Sean, he stayed steady, calculated, focused. 3 players, 3 strategies, 3 completely different outcomes. And that's what makes this game so fascinating. Because it's never just about knowledge. It's about decisions, timing, confidence, and sometimes a little bit of luck. The host turns back to the other contestants. Cynthia and Roy, thank you so much for being here. There's genuine appreciation in that moment. Because even without winning, they contributed something valuable: entertainment, energy, and memorable moments. We're happy that $30,000 will go to your worthy organizations. And That's an important reminder. Because on Celebrity Jeopardy, it's not just about the competition, it's about giving back. Every dollar earned supports something meaningful, something bigger than the game itself. And in that sense, everyone leaves with something. The audience applauds once more. The lights begin to soften, the tension fades. But the memory of this game, that stays. Because moments like these, they stick with you. The unexpected answers, the bold risks, the perfectly timed victory. Oh, of course, that final Jeb Mystère in your mind. And as the show comes to a close, there's one last message. Hey, thanks for watching. Simple, direct, but it carries a sense of connection. Because shows like this, they're not just about what happens on stage, they're about the people watching. Following along, guessing answers from home, celebrating wins, laughing at unexpected moments, and maybe even learning something along the way. Click on the subscribe button and don't miss a moment. Because there will always be another game, another clue, another Final Jeopardy, and who knows, the next unforgettable moment might be just one episode away. But what happened tonight? That mix of humor, risk, and precision. That's something worth remembering